Mm. Greetings, everyone. Oh, weird. There's a weird aura. Okay. There's a weird aura on my that's so crazy. How that has not happened. Okay. Child, look. Today has been a day of days. Today has been a day of days. Today has been a day of days. Child, let me tell you, today has been. Listen, today has been a day of days. Oh my God in heaven, I am so grateful. I'm so, oh child, I am so grateful. So those of you who tuned in with me earlier and know the intervention that I had, the experience that I had earlier that led to the digression, because earlier I was supposed to be reading to you all from this book that we have been reading actively, the book Pure Lust by Mary Daly, and I did not read today. And the reason why was because Spirit was heavy on me today. And she had a word for y'all today. And I was talking to you guys, those that who attended, about how, like today, even though I had all these plans for the day and tasks I was going to fulfill and all of this stuff, how I felt burdened and very heavy. And so I didn't fight that. I just made the decision that that I was going to honor that feeling and take the time. I was going to take the time to be in it, to honor it, and literally do nothing. That nothing was preparation. That nothing was preparation. And I want to tell you that all the things that we do are important. All of those things these things are important. The ritual, the ceremony, the learning about candles and the different colors and what kind of energy they draw in, and the learning about magic and ceremony, the learning about tarot. Greetings, Letitia. The learning about, am I live? Oh, I don't think I am. Now I am. Okay. Um, Greetings, Samora. Whoever is tuning in from Facebook, so you know, whenever you watch live from Facebook for whatever reason, StreamYard does not let me see who it is. So when you tune in from Facebook, make sure to announce who you are, so I know who I'm talking to, because it just says Facebook user and no profile picture for whatever. That's something, you know, technically that you're gonna have to work out of it eventually. Greetings, Kate and Diddy. So what I was saying is, when y'all tuned in earlier, like I had a full ass moment. My intention was to fulfill this commitment to continue reading to you from the extraordinary, magnanimous, dynamic, earth-shaking book Pure Lust by Mary Daly. But when I got on the call, I was overcome. Greetings, everyone. Miss Mystique, Van Lamp, Samora, K and Diddy, Letitia, Facebook user, those that are tuning in on IG, baby. And at first, I was confused because I was confused. I was like, why am I so hot? Why do I feel breathless? Y'all remember that? I got up, I had to get a cup of water. You understand? I'm fanning myself and shit. Then it occurred to me that I felt this way before. I feel this way often, but it's typically only when I'm deliberate and only when I'm in ceremony. But today was a word, baby. Today was a lesson about our mother, and she shows up when she damn well want to. She shows up with the word however she sees fit, you see. And today was that day. There was a reason that I felt so. I went to bed early last night, made sure I did. I went to bed early. I slept deep, got up at a decent. I was like, damn, I slept all night. 8 o'clock, I got up. And even when I woke, I felt burdened. I felt so heavy. I felt so weighted down. But I didn't fight that. My knee-jerk response is to make myself busy, is to turn on music, is to make myself distracted, is to get done this little list of shit that I need to get done on this day that I made the night before. My knee-jerk response is to, if I am not doing, I am not being productive. If I am not engaging, I am not being progressive. If I am not moving, I am being lazy. Today, I didn't feel any of that. I didn't feel any of that. I was like, damn, I feel really heavy. I feel really burdened. I'm just going to lay right here in this bed. And did not feel any kind of guilty about it. When I got up out of the bed finally, because I laid in the bed awake for a long time, took calls, you understand? Showed up for people that needed it, you understand? But I laid in that bed looking at the ceiling for a long time and did not feel any kind of guilt about it. I was like, I still feel heavy. I still feel weighted. I still feel burdened. And so when I finally got out of the bed, I had something to eat. I drank some water and I sat on the couch. And the only noise that I heard while on the couch was the noise of this fan blowing. I did not turn on the TV. I did not turn on music. I made sure to honor this weighted, heavy feeling that I was experiencing. So I was fully present in that. This is coming from somewhere. I didn't try to overanalyze where it was coming from. I just let it be. I just honored it. And I, without having to know, y'all, I did not know that it was purposeful. This being, this honoring stillness and quiet and just being with my spirit and my head and myself. Remember I read a card last night? I don't know if you guys remember. Remember I read a card last night and the exercise for the card was, can you just be without judgment? Any thought that comes into your mind, let it go as easily as it came in. Remember that card last night? Remember the card said, whenever a thought comes in, the only way that you address it is saying in yourself, just thinking, and let it go. To be fully relaxed in being present, to fully honor the need to just be still, to just be quiet. This has been the theme since last Saturday when I started doing these readings for y'all. What was the temple reading? The temple reading said what? It is only through a flesh that is well rested and relaxed that I can do my work. That's what Spirit said in that reading last week. That's a quote. It is only through a well-rested and relaxed self that I can do my work. Baby. And so this live that I did earlier, this stillness that I accepted with no judgment, either way, I did not know was a preparation, baby. Because today has been profound. Okay? Whew, today has been profound. Today has been profound. You understand? It became apparent. It is apparent to me anyway, but even more apparent that we are so plugged in. We are so caught up in the doing that I was tempted when I hit the floor and saw this pile of laundry that has been staring me down for a little while. You feel me? I got up. I looked at the laundry. I had a quick moment. I was like, you need to do your damn laundry, girl. And as soon as that thought came, I let it go. You understand? Plug your phone up, Tanya. Plug your phone up, girl. I'll let that thought go. You understand? I recognized in that moment, without thinking about it deep, that we get caught up in the doing. Yes, there are things that I need to do. Yes, there are things that I need to do to secure my life, to secure my surroundings, but not to be subdued by the doing, not to be caught up, not to be distracted by the doing. You feel me? Baby, today has been a day of days. And that's how I'm going to start this process that you and I have been engaged in since last Saturday, because I recognize the importance of this week. And I just want to do what I can. I want to do my part in helping you to remain present, helping you to gain the benefit of the majesty and the miracle of these moments that are presented to us. You understand? So today I talked to you minimally about this YouTube that I found that I love. This guy is very scientific. You understand? I appreciate that. He's an astrologer, but he's very British and he's very specific and he's very scientific about his approach to astrology. And I respect it. I appreciate the dynamics. And he did this presentation that I can share with you. Let me just tell you the name of it. That way you can just find it for yourself. But it came at just such a wonderful time. The name of it is Why Eclipses Are Miracles. I don't know the guy's name, but his YouTube channel is World Astrology Report. The name of the piece that he did that I watched yesterday is called Why Eclipses Are Miracles. And so he talked about the science and he talked about the mathematics, and he used the science and the mathematics to explain to us why we are in such an opportune and magical position to experience these things that are meant only for us. To have 290 identified moons in our solar system, and only our mother moon provides the miracle of this solar eclipse that makes our moon and our sun, or the distance between these two, appear the same size. And we are the only ones that get to experience the miracle of this eclipse that's happening on Saturday. Why doesn't it happen anywhere else? Is it because there are no observers of the miracle of this moment, and that we should not take for granted? Using the science and the mathematics to explain to us why we should not take for granted these opportunities that allow us to listen, that allow us to hear, that allow us the opportunity to take advantage of the gifts that they offer. I love this beautiful way that he marries spirit and magic with science and mathematics. I love it. So if you have the opportunity, it's very short. I think it was like 30 minutes maybe. Why Eclipses Are Miracles, World Astrology Report. So I talked about that today because I am a scientist. I am a learned woman. I have 4 degrees. You understand? I love science. I love to know the why. That's the Virgo in me. I love to understand the mathematics and the science of phenomena. That's the Capricorn moon in me. But I also love when those things, numbers and science and peer-reviewed research, validate magic, validate, support the existence of miracles, not invalidate, not disprove, strengthen our resolve to recognize these moments that are gifts from our mother. They're gifts. So when I tell you, because there's no shortage of astrologers and witches, and there are millions and millions and millions of content creators who are talking about this eclipse and all that it means and strategically how you should prepare and all of that stuff. And that's great and it's valid. When I tell you that when I implore to you the need to take these moments because the mother is at work on all of us. And what happens is the louder she becomes, the more evident in our lives she becomes, depending on where our conditioning is and the deconstruction of our condition is, we may take that shit in different ways. We may take it with dread. We may accept it with doom and gloom. We may receive it as an opportunity to evolve. Like I said earlier, am only interested in our evolution. I'm only interested in us always being able to receive the information that is going to contribute to us becoming our best self. I will never make demands of you, and I will never judge you if you don't receive what it is I got to share. Child, we are sovereign beings, and this is what sovereignty looks like in real time. And so, again, as I have been talking to you every night since Sunday, tired sometimes, but always open. Today has been a day of days. Tomorrow, actually, just in a few moments, because it's 9:53 my time. Just in a few moments, it will officially be Friday the 13th, a day that we should approach with exaltation and reverence and gratitude and love and hopefulness and certainty, and we should receive it for the gift that it is. There is a reason that we've been conditioned to view Friday the 13th with dread and doom and gloom and spookiness. It is because it too is a day of days. Our mother, the Venus, should be exalted in this moment. And she is not interested in doom and gloom and woe and all things wrong with the world, baby. Because the only reason she exists, what she is fed from, what she needs from us is gratitude in action. What is gratitude in action? It is, baby, I give you all this wonder. I give you all this magic. I give you all this majesty. And all I want in return is gratitude in action. What is gratitude in action? It is ecstatic expression of joy and ecstasy and love. I am so grateful to be alive. That's what she thrives on. That's what she thrives on. Like, damn, I'm pulling out all the stops to make sure that life on earth is wonderful. Bitch, can I get a damn, my mother is on point. Let me go dancing. Let me lose myself in music. Let me make love to the one I love. Let me go and take my baby somewhere where they ain't got no care in the world. All I'm interested in is how happy they are playing or experiencing whatever they're experiencing. This is what gratitude in action is. Yes, ceremony is important. Yes, ritual is important. Yes, prayers are nice. Meditations are awesome. But there's a way that we get lost in the ritualism of that shit that becomes too distractions and noise. There is. We get so caught up in the routine and execution of, quote, ritual and ceremony that we forget about the letting go that accompanies genuine ecstasy. Worship should be ecstatic, not forced. That's what today has been. Ecstasy should be spontaneous and ecstatic. Worship of the mother is embodied. Worship of the mother is the getting lost in the release of that shit that burdens us. When I say that I was not purposeful, I was not deliberate about a single solitary thing today. Not one. Baby, I made a whole list in my phone, 13 things in my phone last night, a list of shit I need to do. And if I get it done early, I can chill before I go and do this live for y'all. So deliberate in the making of my list. That's the Virgo I talked about earlier. So deliberate in the execution of these things that are going to make my life a little easier in some way. The Capricorn in me, the Capricorn moon in me. And when I woke today and made the decision, you know what? I am going to just be. I am just going to be today. And she came down on me in that ease and that moment of relaxation. What is relaxation but genuine surrender? You understand? She says, I just said it to you on Saturday. She says, it is through a well-rested and relaxed you that I can do my best work. You understand? And today was a day of days. Today was a day of days, baby. No guilt, no lament, no I shoulda, coulda, woulda, attached to that conscious decision that I made that I am going to just be on this day and let her have her way with me. And she did. She did. So I want to reiterate the week that we've been spending together, the rituals that I have shared with you that can help you to become more trustful of your flesh, because that's the purpose of ritual. That is the purpose of ceremony. That is the purpose of journeying. That is the purpose of journaling. That is the purpose of prayer, is for you to remember how to trust you, not here in your blood, in your flesh, in your bone, in your organs, in your guts, in your heart, to remember the union of spirit and flesh and what that feels like in an instant. These things are not what define you. Ceremony, ritual, meditation, affirmations, journaling, making lists. They are not what defines you. They are simply tools to assist in the deconstruction of the distractions. They are instruments. They are gifts to help you remember that you are not separate from her. You are her. You are her. Remember I told y'all last week about the scientific study conducted by these psychologists in the 1960s about this hypothesis that these dudes just kind of randomly came up with. Maybe people are crazy and sick and afflicted with addictions because they're suffering from separation anxiety from their mother. And I hypothesize if we energetically mend or heal this energetic severing from the mother, will it restore them? Will it repair the damage in a way that's measurable in the world? Can they overcome addictive personalities? Can they, if they're schizophrenic, can they be healed? Can they be helped just by this? The reconnection, the perceived reconnection of themselves to the mother. And so these three dudes, scientists in the 1960s, conducted this study where all they did was show their most afflicted in a psychiatric hospital. They're most afflicted, they're most damaged. All they did was show them movies every day for 6 weeks. All these people think they're doing is watching movies. But what these scientists did was to splice every movie with subliminal messaging, different messages, to measure how people responded to subliminally receiving these messages. And the only one that had long-standing, because after the 6 weeks was over, they followed them for 20 years. The only message that had measurable, significant, permanent, beneficial impact on these people, even schizophrenics, medicated schizophrenics for 20 years and more, was the phrase given to them subliminally. Mommy and I are one. Mommy and I are one. Mommy and I are one. This is the message they received for 6 weeks. So when I tell you that I am a scientist, I love science because science is the language of life. Science is the language of the mother. You understand? So it is not a contradiction when I talk to you about being open to receive her, being open to hear her when she intervenes in your life, whether through another human, whether through an experience, to be open to hear her when she is trying to bless you, when she is trying to gift you. And all she has ever asked us in return is ecstatic worship. And ecstatic worship is not forced. Ecstatic worship is not planned, plotted, or strategized. Ecstatic worship is not laborious or methodical. She says, surrender to me, because all I am interested in is your happiness, is your wellness, is your ability to experience in your flesh the variety of gifts that I give you effortlessly. I haven't asked you to kill anybody. I haven't asked you to pledge allegiance to me. I haven't asked you for anything other than what gives you pleasure, and for you to express that pleasure openly and often. Those of you who have not been mothers, those of you who have, we experience that for a moment. We experience that relationship for a moment when we have children. For that first 0 to about 2 years old, all we are interested in is making our babies happy. Every time they cry, we are troubleshooting to figure out how to make them happy. And then what do when we respond in the correct way? When we give them whatever it is that makes them happy? They laugh, they giggle, they cackle, they look at us like we're God. All we are interested in that first 2 years is, what is it going to take to make my baby happy, to give my baby peace, to make sure that they know I am always here, and all I am interested in is making them happy. Nothing, they don't have to do anything for it. Babies don't have to do anything for it. We give it freely. We give it freely. We do not tell them that they have to earn the right to be fed by us. We do not tell them that they have to earn the right to be loved by us. We are fed by their happiness. We are fed through knowing that what we're doing is making their lives better. That's it. We don't require anything of our babies. And it is only through our conditioning that after about the age of 2, we start to impose our conditioning on these babies. We have a glimpse of this relationship that is perfect if we are mothers. We have a moment, and those babies remember it too. And that's why people out here are sick. They are longing for that moment that they remember, that their being was all that was required for them to experience love, for them to experience pleasure, for them to experience joy, for them to play, for them to just exist in the best possible way, to be fed effortlessly, to be bathed effortlessly, to be cared for in every possible way, and for us as mothers to totally internalize this beautiful relationship. We are fed by our baby's joy. We are fed by our baby's happiness. We are. When our babies cry, what happens with women? They start to leak from their boobs. When their babies are unhappy, we feel it. When our babies are unhappy, we feel it in our flesh. We respond in our flesh. Our flesh, without thinking about it, says, my baby is unhappy. I need to resolve this. And our boobs start leaking from out of nowhere. And our response is to make them happy in the moment. We don't tell them they got to get a job for us to give them no breast milk. You understand? This is what we all long for. This is what we all miss. As our babies age, our conditioning teaches us, and they internalize it in their bodies. We don't kiss them as often. We don't touch them as often. We don't hug them as often. We don't baby talk them anymore. Our frustrations with our jobs, we either directly or indirectly impose on them. They feel that in their bodies because they're connected to us. You understand? And as they become teenagers and they start going through their hormonal changes, we become frustrated because they become frustrated. And it's a biological feedback mechanism, baby. It is. Their proximity to adulthood, we impose on them that your proximity to adulthood limits you to love. We retract, and they feel it and feel it. They do. And everyone on earth is experiencing this thing that is missing, that we have a distant memory of, that even perfect strangers would walk up to us when we were babies and show nothing but love. Oh my God, your baby's so cute. Look at that baby. Oh my God, you did good, Mama. Look at that baby. That all we had to do was exist. That all we had to do was exist. And so when I read a scientific peer-reviewed journal study about this magnanimous research of energetically reestablishing a connection between the mother and it having a permanent long-term impact on all kinds of psychiatric conditions and behaviors. You understand? What mother? Your earth mother, your birth mother? Maybe. But it's deeper than that. All of us don't have great, wonderful, magnanimous relationships with our earth mother, our birth mother. We all are cared for by our earth mother, by the mother. All of us. We breathe for free. We drink for free. We could eat, that's her intention, for free if somebody was not in the way. She says, I don't require anything but your acknowledgement of me and what I give freely through ecstatic worship. I want you to laugh. I want you to be happy. I want you to have a relationship with me and all of me, animals and plants, that is indicative of this. Really, I am fed by your happiness, baby. I'm fed by your joy. All I want you to do is exist as your best possible self because you are me. We are one, us and our mother. Our relationships with each other should be indicative of this relationship with her. Baby, today was a day of days because she been on me. She been on me and I receive it. I am so grateful for it. I am so extraordinarily grateful to be able to hear, to be able to feel, and to be able to recognize in an instant. Not my imagination, not my cerebral thinking, to be able to recognize in an instant, she is with me, she is blessing me, and she wants me to bless others. So, that was a long introduction. It was a long overview, I know. But baby, she on one. You feel me? So I've got my cards out. I've already received some questions from, let's see, from, I don't want to make a mistake. Let's see. From Rosalind Manning. Rosalind Manning, I want you to put your hand up if you are tuning in from anywhere. Rosalind Manning. If you are tuned in from IG, if you are tuned in from Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, throw your hand up for me because you did make. So just for those of you who are tuning in and this is your first time and you don't know what it is I'm doing, I am doing a live reading tonight. I've been doing it every night this week because I want y'all to power up. I want y'all to have the opportunity to power up through these gifts that the mother is attempting to give us this week. I am attempting to draw your attention away from the multiplicity of distractions that are deliberately attempting to siphon your attention, to siphon your energy, to disempower. This is the political activist in me telling you, you can acknowledge that the state exists, that there are those in power, and that those in power do not use astrology, do not use magic to maintain their power hold of position in the world. We have the same opportunity to do that for the betterment and the greater good of the whole, but we have to be present. We have to recognize gifts when she is handing them to us. And maybe the mothers are at work this week. They are. And so that's been this reason that I have been doing these readings every night and child burdened and but like knowing I hear you, Kay and Diddy. And I'm just telling you, the work is ours. We can acknowledge what is happening in the world without being emotionally bound, without acknowledging it and recognizing it and saying, I am creating the extreme opposite of this that I am experiencing in real time. I am actively in this moment creating the extreme opposite of what is happening in the world. And that is all that matters. It is not to spiritually bypass, because I'm not interested in that shit neither. It is to acknowledge. It is to recognize it so it can be added into your prayers. I am actively conspiring with others to ensure that the future that we are creating together is the extreme opposite of what we are collectively experiencing. And leave that prayer there and know that it is certain. You understand? So, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time or tuning in late and don't know what I'm doing live readings. So I am pulling from the Medicine Woman Inner Guide deck, which is my tarot deck, and I am also pulling from the I Ching. Okay. For those of you who do not know what the I Ching, it is one of the two oldest divination oracles on earth. Okay, so you can tell me which one you would like for me to pull for you from the I Ching or the Medicine Woman deck, or you can have me decide. Okay, what this is, what we've been doing since last Saturday in preparation for this week. This is basically a mini reading. This is the eve right now of our Friday the 13th, which is a huge, huge, huge day. Please step into that day aware, present, and deliberate, avoiding distractions and conspiring with others to create the future right now that we want to see made real. That is all. I am doing these readings to help you hear, to help you be present, to help you facilitate feeling when she is intervening, because she is. So with that being said, I'm pulling from the Medicine Woman Inner Guidebook, and I am pulling from the I Ching this evening. Okay? It is $11 a question, a donation that I'm asking. $11 a question, 3 questions, up to 3 questions per person. For those of you who are tuning in via Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you can see at the bottom of the screen, scrolling across, the methods with which you can make your donation. Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, or Cashapp. Okay, you can make that donation. You can email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com if you would like to get the paperwork necessary to claim your donation on your taxes. The Temple of Evolutionary Emergence is a certified 501c3, so you can claim any donation that you make on your taxes. Okay. For those of you who are tuning in via IG, do not judge. This is my first week doing lives. It just came to my attention last night that for whatever reason, you can only see this backwards. So I will hold my little rudimentary thing up. Somebody volunteered today to make something better for me, so I should have that by tomorrow. But the donations are $11 a donation. You can make your donation at Zelle, Venmo, Cashapp, or PayPal. Zelle is releaseheartcenter at gmail.com. Venmo is Cassandra Floyd. Cashapp is $IyapoNgina. And PayPal is @IyapoNgina. I will leave that for a moment. And before we even got on the call, so I want to ask again. I haven't seen, and I might just have to email her, but I did get 3 questions from Rosalind Manning. So if you are tuning in, Rosalind Manning, I am prepared to pull for you live, or I can email you the results of a reading. Okay. So that's up to you so raise your hand or go ahead and reiterate your questions here. I also want to say, when I do these readings, I want you to be open to the idea that even though I am reading for one person, there may be something that feeds you from this person's reading, because we are linked. You and I, our destinies are linked. You and I, every last one of us, our destinies are linked. You understand? They might be personified in 8 billion different ways, but our destinies are linked. And so I would encourage you to be open to receive whatever is for you in this process. And the other thing that I will say is, I'll just say that. Be open to receive whatever is for you. Okay. So, cool. I got another donation. This is from Nkinge, who has been listening almost every day this week since I started these readings. Peace, sis. So, I haven't heard from Rosalind Manning yet. She did have 3 questions, so I'm not going to pull until I hear from her. But in Kinke, you can go ahead and ask the question that you want to ask, and I'll go ahead and pull for you. I think I got another donation too. I want to just acknowledge people that are tuning in. Thank you, everybody that are tuning in. Letitia, Mo Will, Miss T, Kay and Diddy, Chaley. I hope I pronounced that right. Chaley, Whimsical Moon Fairy, Lauren. That's everybody that's tuning in. Samora, Svan Lamp, the anonymous Facebook user. And then those of you who are tuning in from IG, Dr. Lawana, let's see, Maui Yobamani. I hope I didn't slaughter that. I Can Write You Beautiful. Thank you so much. Akemi, who I just want to shout out. She is the artist, Tanya. Akemi is the artist that actually gave us our first rendering of our logo for the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Yeah, and she is an incredible artist and an incredible singer, by the way. She performed at my birthday party. Yeah, so I'm grateful for all of you showing up. Let's see. I think I heard another. Okay, Samora Ori and Rosalind Manning, and Kinge Lewis. So I'm waiting on questions from you guys. You guys have made your donation. I appreciate that. So go ahead and you can post your question. Let me know, what you have for me. Thank you, Whimsical Moon Fairy. I appreciate you. I am seeing all your comments. Let's see, Letitia. Oh, Letitia, you so cute. She said I had 3 kittens visit my home for a few nights a couple of weeks back. One black, one gray, one mixture of grays, and I needed it since they brought out the nurturing side of me. That's beautiful and very sweet. And let's see. Oh, okay. Somebody asked about the title of the dude's thing. I think it was, yeah, why eclipses are miracles. The guy's YouTube channel is World Astrology Report. World Astrology Report. Why eclipses are miracles. I listen to and watch several different astrologers because I like a wide perspective. And I appreciate this guy because he is very meticulous. He is very methodical. He is very scientific in his approach to astrology. And I appreciate that. I also listen to, what's her name? Pam Gregory, who is very British, and she is like one foot in like the very scientific and measurable and very esoteric and spiritual, and I respect that. I listen to different astrologers because I need the different aspects. So I'm just saying that because when you watch this documentary, he is very scientific and very methodical. And so it may resonate with some of you and it may not. But this particular piece that he did, I just really respected it and needed it. Okay, let's see. So I still haven't seen the question. Oh, okay, I see it. I got it. Okay, Samora, I'm going to post your question, okay? What do I need to know or hear right now, just generally? I have been getting... Oh, okay. And I see Whimsical Moon Fairy too. I didn't see that. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have 2 questions so far. So let's see. My first request is just to have a card pulled to initiate the pull. Oh, okay. So let me do that first. And then, since that came in first, and then I will address your specific question some more. Okay, so I am going to pull from the Medicine Woman deck. And so while I'm shuffling these cards, I want to reiterate for those that didn't tune in today, tomorrow I am not going to do my typical 5 o'clock live. I will do the 9:36 late night reading tomorrow. I will not do the 5 o'clock live tomorrow. And then 8:30 Saturday morning Pacific Standard Time, I will be facilitating the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence weekly service from atop Hollywood Hills Mountain in front of Griffin Observatory. So if anybody is in the area and you want to join us up there, but I will still be live broadcasting that at 8:30 Saturday morning so that we are in the peak of that eclipse when it happens, which is going to be happening at 9:22 Pacific Standard Time on Saturday. Okay, so Whimsical Moon Fairy, listen, y'all. Oh my God, this card came up last night, y'all. The 4 of Pipes again. For those of you, so I show the card to everybody so that you can see the images. You have the masculine and feminine building a structure, right? Building a foundation, equal distribution, harmony of masculine and feminine happening here. The 4 of Pipes. For those of you who have been rocking with me all week, I can't believe this card came up again. For those of you who have been rocking with me all week, the pipes have been coming up every single day. Every day since Saturday. There's not one day since Saturday that I have read where the pipes do not come forward. The pipes in this deck are the wands in the traditional deck, and the pipes call on us to be the pipes call on us to be conscious instruments of the will of spirit. What is a pipe? What did I tell you about this deck? The deck represents two pipes. It represents the smoking pipe. You're inhaling through the harmony of masculine and feminine energy. The masculine is the stem. The feminine is the bowl. The harmony of this allows you to take, through inhaling, the medicine of whatever you have in the pipe. The exhale of the smoke is you sending the prayer of healing or medicine or whatever it is into heaven. Smoke goes up into heaven. The harmony of masculine and feminine to fulfill the prayer through the pipe, that is the instrument of this, or the instrument, if you will, of this prayer that you're making, the healing. The playing pipe, because it's also in the pipes, right? The flute is us exhaling to communicate something to the greater. We don't play music for ourselves. We don't produce art for ourselves. We don't. We enjoy it. We love it. But somehow subconsciously we recognize that this medium that we choose through expressing art is a communication from something bigger than us. The idea, the illumination comes from something bigger than us that unites us. When we exhale through the instrument, the pipe, we are deliberate in communicating something that we are experiencing to the greater, recognizing that they are going to receive something from it. This is the role of the pipes. That's why I make a big deal about the fact that these cards have been coming up in these reads every night. The pipes, every night, the pipes. You understand? So the 4 of pipes that came up last night for somebody that I read for is, this card is called discipline, discipline, attraction, and preparation. Discipline, attraction, and preparation. So the particular person and their particular question was about love, about romantic love, right? And this card wasn't just about their desire for an external lover. This card was about the discipline that they need to exhibit in their lives to attract, to make room for and attract, to prepare their space, whether in their heart or in their head or in their immediate surroundings, for the lover that already exists for them. Was that clear? Was that clear? This card, in their particular question about will I find love again, discipline, attraction, and preparation. Let's look at the card again. Did I put it away? Oh, shoot. I think I put it away. Dang. I didn't mean to. I usually try to keep it out through the whole of the discussion of the card. But you saw the card. It was a man and a woman. The harmonizing of the masculine energy and feminine energy to create a discipline, to attract through preparation that which already exists for you. And that card came up last night. That card came up Sunday. I already put it away. I was going to show it to you again, but I already put it away back in the deck. But this card is for everybody. So Whimsical Moon Fairy asked the question as a general opening to start the read. But what a wonderful way, especially given today and what I've been telling y'all since 5 o'clock, that today has been a day of days, right? Reiterating another pipes card that we pulled Saturday that said, honey, it is only through a present, relaxed, well-rested you that I can do my best work. So stop thinking. Be present in that moment so I can come through. The 4 of pipes is about preparing yourself for that. Preparing yourself for that. So while, yes, the person that I pulled the card for yesterday, it was a specific question about will I have love again, right? And the card was about her. The card was about her because the card said, baby, what you want, what you need, I'm already aware of. It already exists for you, closer to you than you realize. Are you prepared? Have you established the discipline in your own life? Why? For what? What did I also tell that person? Anybody remember? that in order to make ready your space for the lover that you want to call into your life, you have to show the same display of love and affection. Remember the materialization of love card, the bowls card that we pulled last night? These are connected. Do you show yourself the same love and adoration that you are so willing to show to others, your children, your wife, your husband, your parents? Do you show in real time in the real world materialized expressions of love to yourself? That was one thing that came out in her reading. This woman, I promise you, that's what she's telling us. I promise you, baby, the work is not hard. Ready yourself, prepare your space to receive what is already waiting for you. That part of that is, can you show yourself so that your partner doesn't become a distraction from you, so that your partner doesn't become the place that you put all this love as a way of evading yourself, evading the love that you should be showing yourself all the time. We do that. We avoid our inner work. We avoid these demonstrations of love for ourselves and place them squarely on our partners. And Spirit is saying, so if you're a Facebook user, if you're using from Facebook, greetings to Facebook user. For whatever reason, StreamYard has not had it set up yet where I can see your profile, so I don't know who you are. If you're tuning in from Facebook, make sure to announce yourself so I can know who I'm talking to. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. So this is the shadow work. Remember we talked the other night about, and then I made the example of it of myself, and then instantly people started returning. Oh my God, yes, that's such a great idea. I made this admission to you guys that I had never made out loud, but I was like, you know what? I'll just give you an example of letting your shadows live out loud, of letting your shadows live because a blessing is there for someone, not just you. You need to let your shadows live out loud because, one, they're demanding a spot on the block, and they're going to make your life uncomfortable until you free them. But the other thing is those things, those secret heart's desires. I'm not just talking about traumas, because every time we talk about shadow work, all people talk about is trauma. That's not the only thing that we keep in the shadows, baby. We keep dreams. We keep ambitions. We keep secret heart's desires. We keep those dreams that we had as children that somebody made fun of secret because we're fearful of being judged. We're fearful of negative responses to that which we hold dear but quiet. And there is salvation for someone else when you let your shadow have its time in the light. And so I say, I know y'all gonna be surprised, you feel me? And I say, as an example, one of my, like some of y'all know my big ambitions. I want to be a rock star. Always have since I was a kid. I got these instruments sitting out in the living room begging me to fulfill this secret heart's desire. But I was so condemned and criticized and judged. And that talent that I had as a child was reduced, that I have like a very fickle relationship with music that I shouldn't have. But, and so yeah, most of y'all know that I want to be a rock star still to this day, right? I want to play in front of thousands and thousands of people. This is my dream. But even deeper than that, one that I have not expressed until the other day, child, was I also have a deep, deep desire to produce erotic movies. Filling, ecstatic, completely sexy, liberated, sovereign, worshipful sex movies. I want to produce pornography that is from the perspective of the goddess. Like that's some shit. I was like, I could do that. I could create and direct really wonderful, positive, but still extremely sexy, uncorny pornography. And as soon as I only said it as an example, right? Of letting live that which you keep secret, because somebody is going to be transformed by it. Somebody's isolation is going to be ended by that thing that you speak out loud, that they're like, damn, that's me too. I'm not crazy. And as soon as I said that shit about me wanting to direct pornography, like 6 women were like, oh my God, yes, that's a great idea. It's a microcosm of the potential that comes when we allow our quiet self, that quote dark side of the moon that we let no one else see, live in the light, have its time on the block, baby. And so this card says, prepare your lodge, prepare. Tap into all sides of yourself, your masculine and your feminine. Tap into your light, the thing that people see in you, the way you present in the world, what people see when they meet you, and have the courage and the confidence to partner that with the secret self that you're ashamed or afraid or do not have the courage to let others see. Somebody's salvation is in it. Yours is, and theirs is. But prepare, show love to that secret self. The same displays of romance and love and ecstasy, the same materialization of love that you are so willing to give it to her, give it to him. I love me because when I look in the mirror, when I see me as sovereign, I see all that is in me. My big mama, my big papa, my grandpa Faye, my great grandpa Faye, my great great grandpa Faye, all the women of my lines, all the men of my lines that have invested in me, not philosophically, their blood is invested in me. Their memories are invested in me. Their DNA is invested in me, that I make a conscious, deliberate effort to be better, to be more, so that I can produce better and more for those that come after me. And they can be better and more. You understand? So, baby, that's it. Now, I, hope you receive it. But that is that card. Now, I'm going to move right along. So, Whimsical Moon Fairy, that was your card, the Four Pipes. Kimmy, I just want to post, you can't see it because Kimmy, you are tuning in from IG, but Letitia says, Kimmy, you are extremely talented. Your art is too dope. So I thought you should hear that. Okay, and now Samora, I'm going to pull for you too. If you're open to it, Samora, I'm actually going to pull from the I Ching for you because I love this deck and I think that we should really be revisiting a lot more of these more ancient oracles. And I love the I Ching. It's been a while since I sat with this oracle, but as soon as I picked it up, Letitia, Kimmy says, "Oh, thank you." All right, so I love this oracle so much. It's so, and it makes sense that I would love it so much. I mean, I went to school for Chinese medicine. That's all my shit is about, is the 5 elements. You understand? And the I Ching is the foundation of 5 elements theory. So I just love this deck. So that's what I'm going to pull for you, Samora, as I go down and look at the rest of these comments coming through. So for those of you who are tuning in late, coming in late, Facebook user, please announce who you are. Please announce who you are. I just want to know who is joining us and shout you out. Facebook, because for whatever reason, I can see everybody else. Everybody that comes in through YouTube or Twitch, I can see them. But Facebook that thing hasn't happened yet where you can see who it is tuning in from Facebook. Oh, Tamara. Was it Tamara? Oh, okay. I see you, Whimsical Moon Fairy. You said the I Ching too? Okay, I'll pull a card from you for the I Ching. I didn't see that when it came through. I got you. Let's see. Okay, Tamara. Okay, cool. So I'm going to pull from the I Ching. I'm going to pull 2. One for Whimsical Moon Fairy, since I didn't see that she'd wanted me to pull from there. It was still a word. That card came up for a reason, but I'm now going to pull 2 cards. One from Samara, and one for Whimsical Moon Fairy. Okay, so we have, and I'll show you them. It's not going to make sense to you right off jump, but that doesn't matter. I'm still going to show you the cards. So Whimsical Moon Fairy, Whimsical Moon Fairy, you first. And so I'm going to show it to IG first. So the card that came up was the Coon card, which is the response card. And it's a double earth card. I'll show it to you guys here. It's the Coon card, which is a double earth card. The name of the card is response. So I'm just going to talk to you about the meaning of this card. Those of you tuning in from Facebook, I see more people tuning in from Facebook. Just know I can't see who you are because I'm simulcasting from StreamYard, and it doesn't show me your profile or who you are. So whenever you tune in from Facebook, just announce who you are so I can shout you out and thank you and address you. Okay. So the response card is the Coon card that I just showed you guys. Is the interpretation of the card is to act gently to achieve your ends. Act gently to achieve your ends. Before I talk about the rest of the card, the transformations of the card, because each card comes with an interpretation and then transformations, like a deeper meaning of the card. Before I talk about the transformations, I want to say that I hope that you are open to receive what I am experiencing every time I pull for you guys. This card is so timely. I just spent all day talking to you about being, the act of just being, and epiphany being there, just being, gifts being there, just being present in that being a place through which spirit says, this is the place that I can do my best work, is in your relaxation, in your stillness. This card, the first thing that it says is act gently to achieve your ends. Wonderful. So Facebook user, yes, Letitia. Oh my God. Letitia, you are always so fucking on time, woman. You are always on time. Letitia says, just sin. Just sin. Okay. Now, for those of you who ain't in the know, we're reading this book every day called Pure Lust. And what we read yesterday was that for a person to be realigned with the elements, to be reconnected with the earth and the mother, every act that we do when we reconnect is a sin. Every act of reconnection, every act of remembering, every act of voicing this reconnection with the mother, the hearing, the listening, the feeling is a sin, because sin means to be. Okay, girl, you stay right on time. Now, Facebook user, Jose, I see you. And so because you're because you are tuning in late, I want to keep you abreast, and I should do that more often. I am doing live readings. The donation for the live readings for one question is $11. And you're tuning in from Facebook, so you should be able to see across the bottom. The $11 donation that you can make is to Cashapp, Venmo, Zelle, or PayPal. You can see that information scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I see your question and I receive it and I will pull for it. But that's the methodology. And for those of you who are tuning for IG, it's a time to segue to before reading the transformations. I know it's backwards. Just bear with me. These are the ways that you can make your $11 donation per question, up to 3 questions per person per call. I'll be doing this every night. So Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, for those that are tuning in from IG. For those of you that are tuning in from Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you can see that same information, but I'll hold it up for you anyway. You can see that same information across the bottom of the screen, how to make your $11 contribution for a question, each question. Okay, so I'm showing it to you here, but again, if you miss it, it's across the bottom of the screen. So let's talk about this first card for Whimsical Moon Fairy, which is the response card, which is to act gently to achieve your means. Okay. So the transformations for this card, which is basically the interpretation. Okay. Jose, I am not ignoring you. I want you to know that you are seen, you are heard. If you email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com, email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com because your question is important. This is how I make a living. So I am asking for $11 donation, but I will not ignore your question. Email me and I will still pull a card for you. Okay. So anyway, okay. So the transformations for this card. Oh, so I'm just going to read the transformations as they are, and then we'll talk about the card. So let me just do an overview about the I Ching in case people are not familiar. Ms. Whimsical Moon Fairy, I know that you are. You specifically asked for the moon for the I Ching, but I just want to keep everybody on board. The I Ching, I'm going to show the Bagua to each person. The Bagua is the little image right here. That is a small representation of the I Ching. The I Ching is a divination, a binary divination that's about 6,000 years old. This is the symbol of the energy of the I Ching. Has the 64 hexagrams that is made up of whole and broken lines that have 64 potentialities. Oh, everybody's been commenting on my butterfly since I had to change my position. I couldn't be at my desk. Anyway, so the 64 hexagrams is the divination. The way that they fall is what is important to you. So each hexagram comes with an interpretation. That's what I'm going to tell you now, and then I will talk to you about that card. So the transformations is one. This is and another aspect. I will just say this. And another aspect or idea about the I Ching is there are six transformations and the interpretation. These 7 things that come down in the throw, some people attach them in order to the alignment of your chakras. Okay, so the interpretation, which I already read, act gently to achieve your ends. There are some schools of thought that attach the interpretation to your crown chakra. The next 6 that I read to you are a representation of the rest of the chakras going down. You can receive that or not, if you feel like that resonates with you or not. But that is one interpretation that I like. It resonates with me, so I thought it was important. So I've already read the interpretation was which is represented at the crown chakra. The next, which is represented at the third eye, if you receive that. This is a crucial turning point. Be ready to make a change. Timely, Whimsical Moon Fairy, since I just read a card to you from the Medicine Woman deck that said what? Discipline, attraction, and preparation. Discipline, attraction, and preparation. Here, your card from the I Ching, which you requested, says, as a part of the interpretation, the lower chakras contribute to what? This thing that is manifestation, the crown chakra. It is a crucial turning point. Be ready to make a change. Discipline, attraction, preparation. I just love this. Be humble. Restrain yourself when necessary. Display strategic humility. Be honest, direct, and morally scrupulous. Operate with caution and persistence. Heed warning signs. So my intuition about this card, because sometimes that can seem a little intense. Humility, what's the other one? Humility, restraint, being strategic, right? Morally scrupulous, persistence, caution. Don't interpret it that way. Interpret it just how I told you before I read the transformations. The interpretation, right? Be present. Acknowledge what is around you. Be present. Do not be emotionally invested in that which is around you. Acknowledge it. Don't ignore it. Acknowledge it. Be present. Be still. Be relaxed. It is a discipline to be still. I just told y'all a whole story about how I had to make a decision to honor what I was experiencing today, so I didn't default into the doing. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. That's a discipline. Preparation is also in stillness. Because what have I been talking to y'all about all week? Is prepare this week to receive miracles, to receive magic, to hear her and however she intervenes. So take it for that. The caution, the discipline, the scrupulousness, right? It's all about the relaxing, the resting, the being present, and being open so that she can do her best work. Okay? I love that this card fell for you, for us. The next card, which is for, who is that card for? Samara. So Samara, I also pulled for you from the I Ching, which is the Fu. So I'm going to show it. It is an Earth card and I believe it's a Thunder card. Yeah, an Earth card and a Thunder card. And it's the Earth and Thunder. Okay, so you'll see the hexagram, which is one whole line and pairs of 5 broken lines. Okay, and the card's name is returning. The card's name is returning. Okay. Okay, so the interpretation for this card is spring awakens life into rebirth and renewal. Be sure to plant the right seeds. Okay. The transformations, the 6 transformations for this card, and then we'll talk about it, are delusion and self-deception will bring disaster. Generosity, honesty, and prosperity return to you. Go with the flow to stay with the heart of the matter, even if it means you go alone. Oh my God. Even if it means you go alone. You must confront adversities formed by past events. Gain by oh my God, this card. Gain by letting go. Relax, release, be generous in spirit. Less talk, more action. Less talk, more action. This card is so loaded. Thanks, Whimsical Moon Fairy. I'm going to post that. This card is so loaded and still yet so on time. So delusion and self-deception will bring disaster. So let's talk about this. In the grand scheme of things, there is a reason that I'm reading for y'all every night this week. So it's not separate from what that is. So astrologically, I've already talked to you about how Tuesday we entered into an extremely magnanimous period because Tuesday was the 1010 portal. And that same day, Pluto stationed direct for the first time since May. Pluto had been in retrograde motion along with 6 other planets since May, right? Pluto is the governess of the shadows. She is the owner of the unseen world. Pluto in Roman and Greek mythology is Hades, the god of the underworld. But we have all this spooky shit attached to Pluto, right? Pluto is the governess of universal balance and harmony. And the only way that can happen is for that is unseen to be brought to the light. Whenever you see Lady Justice or Lady Liberty and she's got a blindfold on holding the scales of justice, right? Pluto's energy is, honey, the closet has to be open. The surface has to be laid open. Those things that have been hidden for too long must be shown light upon for them to be judged. For them to be judged, right? Pluto owns that. And so Pluto's stationing direct after this long, slow, heavy, laborious retrograde that she has been in with all the major outer planets, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune. They all been in retrograde for a long time, and they're all about to catapult into direct motion, one after the other, over the next 3 months. October, November, December, they will all be direct. That's heavy, heavy, powerful energy. And so this card talking about delusion and self-deception will bring disaster is right on time with what I've been talking to y'all about all week. Baby, let your shadow live. Let your shadow have its time. Don't delude yourself anymore. The you that everybody sees, the you that everybody's comfortable with, the you that you have only let be seen because you don't want to make others uncomfortable is only half you. It is only half of who you are. And that half that you've kept secret, that half that you have imprisoned, will bring disaster if you do not let it live. That's the self-delusion. That's the self-denial. You only show love to that part of yourself that others love. Uh-oh. Who? Uh-oh. You only show love to that self that others love. You do not show your whole self, and you do not show that side of your self-love because you think, through conditioning, through trauma, that if you show your whole self, love will be denied you. I can't dare be my whole self. People won't like me. People will not show me love. People will judge me. People won't be comfortable with that thing that I want so bad, but cannot let live out loud. That is the self-delusion. That's the self-deception right here. When it says plant the right seed, make sure you plant the right seeds. That's it. Remember I told y'all the story yesterday about Hecate? So Letitia just mentioned it. Hecate and Persephone. Remember I told y'all yesterday about Hecate? About Pluto as Oya. About Pluto, even as the bad guy that y'all think he is, Hades and Pluto. Lord of the underworld. And we always make the underworld synonymous with hell, so we dare not approach it. We dare not touch it. We put it away. We put it out of our mind. We put Pluto out of our, we don't want to see it. So much so that astrologers got together at the turn of the century and said, Pluto ain't a planet no more. We don't even want to face this bitch. The scientific, the astrological, and the astronomical world came into a convention in the early 2000s and said, Pluto, we have decided Pluto ain't a planet no more. This shit is too complicated and we don't even want to deal with it. But that's a subconscious thing that we've always done. That thing, those things that are unseen, those things that are below the surface, we always associate with dark, with evil. I don't want to touch it. I don't even want to approach it. Pluto stationing direct on Tuesday at the 1010 portal is like, look, you can either come through the evolutionary emergent process willingly, where you will be blessed for it, or you can resist, and I'm going to drag you through emergent evolution, kicking and screaming. That's the disaster. The evolution is certain, whether you come willingly or whether I have to drag your ass kicking and screaming. And I would much rather you come willingly, because the only thing that can happen is you benefit. The only thing that can happen is you be blessed. That's why it says in the interpretation, make sure you plant the right seeds. Don't continue to, oh my God, don't continue to plant the same old goddamn seeds of the past, continuing to expect a crop that has never shown up. The seeds of despair, the seeds of doubt, the seeds of hopelessness, the seeds of fear, the seeds of self-judgment and self-criticism, and expecting abundance to show up, expecting love to bloom. Listen, expecting love to bloom, expecting harmony to bloom from seeds of despair, hopelessness, delusion, self-denial, self-deception. Plant seeds, plant the right seeds in this moment at the eve of the gift that the mother is giving us this week, so that you can ensure the crop that you desire. Ooh, y'all ain't heard. Maybe this is a word. This is a word. Listen, okay? And I want you to know that Pluto is not just about what's out there in the world. Pluto, more than anyone, is rooting for you to be your best self. Pluto, more than any entity, is rooting for you to be empowered and emboldened and to step out into the world courageously, yo. More than any other planet. I've been talking about Venus all week because tomorrow is her day. Tomorrow is the day that she should be raised up and exalted in every possible way, and every single solitary moment of the day tomorrow, Venus should be exalted. But Venus is the aspect of the mother that is loving and is sexy and is nurturing and is the governess of fresh water. And she is the owner of the Garden of Eden. Venus is. She is a representation of that thing that I just talked about you. The love that we willingly and effortlessly and even thoughtlessly give to babies. That's Venus. That's her energy. That's what the Garden of Eden was. It was like, baby, just exist. Your existence is what feeds me. Your happy, blissful, ecstatic existence is what feeds my soul. And as long as you worship me ecstatically through sex and lovemaking and ecstasy and eating, baby, I love watching you eat. That's why mamas are fed when they feed their babies, and they see their babies enjoy it. Tap their little feet and dance and see. Mamas love that, right? So Venus should be exalted tomorrow. But Venus gives freely and effortlessly, right? Oya comes around so slow. I'm talking about Pluto. Oya comes around so slow. This is her first time on the scene in 248 years. So when she comes on the scene, she was like, y'all have gotten comfortable with some shit you have no business being comfortable with oppression, with less thanness, with institutions that suppress. And it is time for me to shake this shit up. That's why they view her with dread. That's why they demoted her from her rightful place in heaven, is because they do not want to face her. But she too brings blessings. But her blessings come through your rigid ass not honoring the mother, not receiving the blessings of the mother, believing the hype. When she come through to wreck and move all that stagnant, decadent shit out the fucking way to ensure that you are blessed on the other side. That's the only reason she come through, baby. And she is staking her goddamn claim right now. Baby, that's this. Can you, and what she's asking for, and the homework is easy. We make it difficult because, like I said in the beginning, we are conditioned to fear the future. We are conditioned to fear change. We are conditioned to fear the evolutionary emergent process and who we will be on the other side of this shit. We are so conditioned that we cannot even create an image in our mind's eye of the world made well. What a healed self and what a healed world looks like, and will that shit into existence. Baby, this card say plant the right seeds to ensure the right crop, to ensure the right result. Okay? Do not delude yourself. Do not be self-deceiving. Move out with the courage of Pluto, the warrior goddess who comes through to move your enemies out of your way. Okay? Generosity, honesty, prosperity will return to you if you do this work. Plant the right seed and have the courage to move audaciously in the world, baby. You understand? Yes, Facebook user, I am still doing readings for donations. Please announce yourself because I can't see who you are on this medium. So just announce who you are. And I did hear a little cha-ching. So if that was you, just let me know and I will shout you out and then you can ask your question. So I'll move through this card really quick. I know I get caught up, but baby, this is a word. This is a word. Go with the flow. to stay with the heart of the matter, even if it means you go with the flow alone. What have I been saying all day? What have I been saying all week? She has said it is only through a relaxed, go with the flow, a relaxed, well-rested you that I can do my best work. Stop pushing, stop forcing, stop being distracted, stop creating distractions. Be present. Be relaxed in that presence. Be open here in that presence. And I swear to you, I will do my best work. I will speak to you in a language that is certain and that you can hear and that is clear. Okay? You must confront adversities formed by past events. Now, this has been a theme all week because Pluto and Venus are not the only players on the scene. So I just counseled somebody today. Be mindful of these relationships that might be trying at this moment, because Mars, who is Venus's opposite, is also on the scene. And so there are these two probabilities or possibilities that can happen with the intensity of this eclipse coming up on Saturday. We can be extremely moved to romance and love and displays of affection because Venus is the one, or because Mars is the god of war and always loves a conflict. That's Aries. Picture the rams with the horns. Just ain't nobody yielding their position. You can't reason in a decision in a situation where everybody is right, so nobody can hear reason. Just love to go to war, love to go to battle. This is quintessential Aries energy. This is quintessential Mars energy. So if you have or are in the midst of any kind, business-wise, work-wise, personal relationship-wise, mother-daughter, mother-child-wise, currently in a relationship or situation where things are strenuous or tenuous, this is not the weekend to be engaged, because the other extreme potential is volatility, fighting, screaming, yelling. That's the other potentiality. What makes the pendulum make a decision about which way to swing is you being present, is you making a decision that even though these things are happening in my life, this period of time, I am going to shift my energy to this. My position is shift your energy to yourself. What did I say earlier? Make materialized expressions of love to yourself. Give yourself love, and that will radiate out to these relationships that may be going through strain right now. Focus on yourself without guilt, without forcing. Just say, you know what, for the next 72 hours, I'm just going to focus on my destiny, my ambitions, what I need in my life, with love, no judgment or anything else. That will ensure that the volatility, which is a probability or possibility presented by Mars in this period, it doesn't go that way. You have a decision to make about how this energy impacts your life. We are not victims of the planets. Once we know, once we are made aware, then we have a decision about how to receive this energy. We have a decision. We are still in control. Okay. So, and then the last part of that, the last two parts, and I love it because it's still in alignment with everything we've been talking about, right? You gain. What did I say? You gain by letting go, by relaxing, by releasing, by being generous in spirit. You gain. What is this? Plant the right seeds. Stop planting the same old seeds of fear, hesitation, self-judgment, self-criticism, despair, uncertainty, being pulled around by your heartstrings by shit that is a distraction. You understand? You gain everything that you desire by letting go. What did the card from the Medicine Woman deck say? Discipline, attraction, and preparation, because what is for you is already waiting for you. But this is the work of love that you have to do. You have to prepare yourself to receive your blessings. And the way to do that is not hard. It is relaxing, releasing, letting go, and being generous in spirit, open to receive that which is for you and making a preparation in your energetic space to ensure that it comes to you. Okay? And then the last thing is to talk less and act more. Stop trying to be cerebral about spirituality. Stop trying to be in your head. That's what I talked about earlier, about the ritualism, about the methodical way that we approach spirituality. Okay, I got to make sure I bought this many candles and I like this many candles and they got to be this color and this color and they got to do this and they got to do that. Those are nice. They help you plug in, but do not let those things become the practice. Because over and over and over and over again, since Saturday, Spirit has been saying the same thing. It is through a relaxed, well-rested, present you that I am the loudest, that I can do my best work. These things, the ritual, the altars, the shrines, the prayers, they are helpful. But they are helpful about reestablishing this connection between you and Mother, you and Spirit, you and Heaven. Okay? All right. So I know that was long for 2 cards, but we in a moment, we in a vibe. You feel me? Okay, so let me just check because I heard several donations come in. So I just want to make sure everybody is heard. Everybody gets a card. Okay. So Leger, I hope I said that right. Leger and and Erica Vega. Leger and Erica Vega. Okay, I received your donations. Okay, let's see. Are there any others? All right. Okay. I don't think I see any others, but I'll check again. So I hope you're hearing me. I'm here with you. Erica and Leger, you can go ahead and ask me your question. Let me just make sure I didn't miss it. Okay. And Jose Miguel, just because it's what we're on right now. If you are still tuning in, which I hope that you are, if you are unable to make a donation because I felt the urgency of your question, I will still be willing to go ahead and pull a card for you. So if you're still tuning in, let me know, and I will do that for you. I will pull a card for you, and I will ask, and you can make a decision about that between you and Spirit, that if at some time in the future you feel that it's been impactful, just reach out and make a donation. But for tonight, if you can't make a donation, I still want to pull a card for the question that you asked, okay? Because I felt like the urgency of it. Okay, so the Facebook user, okay, so let's go ahead and do Erica Vay. GW. I don't, child, I got so much in. I don't know. GW. What is that? With GW or whatever reading you believe I need. Okay, so I don't know what GW is. Maybe you can enlighten me. Maybe I'm just in the moment being unclear. I see everybody on IG. I see your comments. I appreciate you for it. Okay, so Leger and Erica Vay. Erica Vay has asked her question, so I'll go ahead and pull a card for that. And then Leger, I just want to scroll back and make sure I haven't missed your question. If you haven't asked it already, go ahead and ask the question. But Erica, I'm going to go ahead and post your question and do. Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. I'm clear. All right, cool. Okay. So, I thought it was something I might've been missing on my end, but I'm clear now. Okay. So, so Erica, I'm going to pull for you first. Okay. So, The other thing that I will say is, you know, I have been saying this a lot, and this has been a new venture for me, reading live. Like I do private readings, but reading live, which I was encouraged to do by a friend of mine, is a new thing for me. But what I would really like to encourage you to do, I've been getting a lot of very big kind of general questions. If you can be more specific, it will give me a better way to answer your question. Um, Otherwise, I can just go off generally what your question is and then communicate to you what the card is saying generally. But if you ask me more specific questions, I can give you a more specific answer, okay? So I'm going to go ahead. And just so you know, Erica, for you, I am feeling moved to pull from the Medicine Woman deck. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to show you all this card. I always try to show the card so you can see the imagery for a moment. So Erica, this is your card, the 10 of Arrows. So there's a lot going on here. I want you to really look at the image. Okay. Oh, Lejay, baby. Oh my God. Listen, so I got something for you in your little intervention. I can't believe that's your question. Oh my God. Okay. So, Erica, this is your card, the 10 of Arrows. And, oh, man. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. So let's talk about this card. I showed you the card. There's a lot going on in the card. And so I'm just going to show you guys the card again. You, Erica, I'm going to show you the card again. Okay, so if you look at this card, I love this deck because the imagery communicates so much, right? You've got this little, what seems like a prehistoric kind of cave painting, of like a hunter shooting an arrow, right? You've got spirit or ancestors, right? Right here in the top corner. You've got what looks to me like a representation of all the nations and all the peoples. You've got elders, see the little gray-haired ladies here. You got black people, you got white people, you got all the in between. You've got elders, you got babies, spirit in the corner, and the memory of the ancients. That's what that speaks to me, like our most ancient self, our most primitive self, and how that's present all the time too. This is the 10 of Arrows, okay? And it's important for me to reiterate the imagery on that card, okay? The name of the card is Steadfast Mind. Steadfast Mind. This card, so let me just say something about this deck. I love this deck because there's nothing spooky about this deck. When people read the traditional deck, there's a lot of imagery in it. That's why I've never read from that deck. I have it to give myself kind of like a frame of reference, but I never read from that deck. For me, it seems like very patriarchal, and there's a lot of imagery in it that elicits doom, that elicits like gloom. This card, this deck has warnings. And so you should know that in the traditional deck, the arrows in this deck are in alignment with the swords. When you see the images of the swords in the traditional deck, it's always gloomy and shit. This card gives warnings that are still affirmative. And the warnings are about what to look out for in your own behavior and what that can attract, what that can draw to you. It's not a warning of impending doom or some shit like that. And I receive it that way. So this card is the 10 of Arrows. You see this really beautiful card about all the nations sitting together, looking like they're talking peacefully. And everybody is contributing. The ancestors and the spirit of heaven is there. And the ancient ancestors, the most primitive of us, everybody's on deck. So this card, and I'm just going to say, I don't know if she is on here, but there's somebody that I talked to earlier. I just feel like this card is for her too. This card, when I preface by saying that this is a warning card, this card is about your power. And what I mean by that, and what I told this person the hour that I was talking to her before I got on this call, is as we step into power, as we let that thing that we've kept hidden live out loud, live in the light, we are always in the right when we live our truth. But when we live our truth, when we experience the acquisition of power or a breakthrough in our wisdom, it can trigger and challenge those of us who are not in the same walk that we are in. And that can seem to us as attacks, right? It is not attacks. It is a projection of something that is being exposed in them. We still have a choice. We can receive that projection and internalize it, or we can stand in the prayer that I'm always telling you about. I am open to receive what is for me, what is assisting in my destiny, what is helping in my daily evolution. That which is not for me, that which does not apply to me, I reject it. I don't have any emotion about it. And I just want to tell y'all, this ain't no shit I'm saying ambiguously. Since I have been on here, I have gotten really violent, nasty emails, really fucked up energy sent towards me. And in that moment, I can make a decision. This ain't for me. This is about them, and they need a way to project. And because I am making myself available to the world, because I am putting myself out there, I become a target for their own personal projections. Do you understand? I still have a choice. Whether they project or not, I have a choice. I can be open to receive that and internalize that, or I can stand in my prayer with a certainty that I am only open to receive that which is for me, that is assisting me, that is ensuring that I fulfill my purpose on this earth. That which is not for me, I reject it. With child, still from a place of love, no judgment, still from a place of love. Baby, that ain't got shit to do with me. This card, so I want to read something. Well, not even read. It basically, this card tells you that as you become aware, as you become enlightened, as you become encouraged to be your best and true authentic self, it says false friends cannot harm you. As you become your best self, as you become more empowered, as you become more encouraged to fully be, those that are closest to you, those you have always known, those you truly, truly love, begin to expose themselves. And that shit can be hurtful. They begin to expose themselves. I'm going to tell y'all a quick story about this. So, and some people can relate. I used to be an addict, right? I used to be a junkie when I was younger. And when I made the decision that I didn't want to use anymore, this is a common thing that you will hear addicts tell you. When I made the conscious decision that I did not want to use anymore, and I made that announcement to those that I was using with, our connection was based on this joint habit or experience that we were sharing. That was our point of reference, right? Some people now call it trauma bonding. When I made the announcement that I was no longer going to use, a knee-jerk response, as you have a step in your evolutionary process, the knee-jerk response, typically by those closest to you who have not made that leap or are not ready to make that leap with you, is to attempt to sabotage what you're doing. You'll get even though you'd have made the announcement, you'll get the periodic phone call. Come on, just one more time. Come party with us over at the crib. Come on, you don't have to do, you can just chill with us and play cards, knowing that the temptation is the thing that they're hoping that you will concede to, right? And this applies across the board. That's why I'm telling you this story in reference to this card. When you make even minuscule movements in the right direction, in alignment with your purpose, in alignment with your spirit, in alignment with your destiny, there are those who are not yet ready or prepared to make that step with you. And when I say that they will expose themselves, I'm saying that in that place that they are, we are the ones that are learning the lessons. We are the ones that have made the declaration, I am going to be my best self so that I can be of service. I can be of use to the whole, right? And when we make that declaration, it becomes our responsibility to say, even as they attempt to sabotage us, I only receive that which is for me and assisting in my evolution. And that shit you sending, baby, that has nothing to do with me. I reject it. And let that shit go with love. Do not debate. Do not argue. Do not try to convince. Do not condemn. Do not send ill will. We all out here struggling with different stages of our deconditioning and all of that shit. Just say the prayer, baby. What's for me is for me. And I receive it. And I'm open to it. That ain't for me, it cannot come in. It can't come in. You understand? That's the test. The test is still about you and the decisions that you make about how you receive the outside world. Okay? That's what this card is about. It says that as you evolve, as you stand in your power, your leadership will be resisted. Every positive, this is, I do want to quote this. Every positive idea you have is being met with equal and negative force, child, but hold steady. It's like, listen, when you shine, you ain't just shining for the ones who shining. You shining in a way that everybody see you. And those who ain't yet shining will internalize that what they're experiencing. They'll respond from their conditioning. They'll respond from their hurt. They'll respond because something is speaking to their spirit and they ain't ready for that. And so they will resist it. They will resist it. And when they resist it, that comes off as anger. It comes off as rage. It comes off as frustration. Because with the junkie scenario, what they're resisting is when you get clean, they feel in their spirit like, damn, maybe I need to too. But then they resist it. I ain't trying to do that shit. They don't want to see you be better because it's a challenge to them. Their spirit is speaking to them. Their spirit is speaking to them. This girl got clean and they're rejecting spirit. Remember the story I just told y'all about how all y'all wants to bless us. But she ain't gonna beg. You either gonna comply, you either gonna come willingly into the future. You're either gonna evolve willingly and with ease and in a state of relaxation, knowing that I'm only gonna bless you, or you can resist it and I'm still gonna drag your ass and that shit gonna be painful. Okay? So that's what this card is. It says, if you remain steadfast, remain true to yourself and shine through, everything unnecessary will fall away, including false friends. Stay steadfast in love. Your target is your God realization, baby. The path of the warrior is straight and clear. She simply does not waver from the good. She simply does not waver from the good. That's a card, baby. That's a word. That's a word. Okay? Listen, I trust spirit. And when I say I trust spirit, I mean I trust me. I am not apart from her. I trust me because I trust spirit. You understand? Baby. She said, remain steadfast. She said, listen, this is the warning of the card. If you hold true to your truth and stand fast in love, you all right. In this period of transition, you may feel humbled and your ego self may not like what is happening. But do not give way to anger, resentment, and thoughts of lower nature. Your only target is God realization, not revenge. Your only target is God realization, not revenge. The warrior's path is straight and clear. She simply does not ever waver from the good. Baby, that's a whole, listen, we could do a whole damn sermon on that card alone. Now, let's move forward because LeJay had a word just by asking a question. Y'all, LeJay had a word just by asking a question. You understand? LeJay, I just posted hers. LeJay said, why does Spirit keep telling me I am wearing a mask? Do I need to pull a card for this? Do I even need to pull a card for this? Why does Spirit keep telling me I am wearing a mask? I'm going to pull a card because that's what you made your donation for. But when I tell you that she speaks through me, when I tell you that I can answer your question without even going to the cards, you feel me? Why does Spirit keep telling me I am wearing a mask? Is there anything, LeJay, that I have said this evening that could make you answer that question for yourself? Obviously, because you are listening, you are in deep knowing. Baby, what have I been saying all night? With every single card that has fallen. Your true self is your whole self revealed out loud. Your true self is your whole self revealed out loud. The Fu, which is the Ching card we just pulled, said what? Do not live in self-denial and self-deception. Reject it. If you live out loud as your full self, that's where your gains are. That's where your gains are. That's what the card said. You understand? What did I tell y'all earlier in the week? Hell, what have I been telling y'all for 3 years? Who is the planet Pluto from an African perspective? Who is the planet Pluto? And what does it mean that she has been in our lives present since February 20th of 2022? Pluto is the goddess Oya. The goddess Oya these are her names. She who wears the mask to reveal her enemies. She who removes that which has been hidden so that those wrongdoers can be judged. She shines the light on wrongdoers so that they can be judged, while at the same time telling you, baby, I love you, and all I am interested in is power to the many, power to women. What is her apotiki? She who takes care of children that are not even her own. Oya. She who is the owner of the number 9. Oya. Child. She who has one foot firmly planted in the terrestrial realm and the ancestral realm. So when you ask me, why does she keep telling you that you are wearing a mask? There is something that you are hiding. There is something that you are not letting be seen that others need to see, that you will be healed by revealing and others will receive because they need it too. That's what I've been saying all week. Since she went direct on Tuesday, I have been saying that shit you keep in secret, baby. That shit is begging to live. That shit is begging to live. And like a child you keep locked in their bedroom too long, if you do not let them out peacefully, what do? Become little Tasmanian devils and tear up every motherfucking thing. She's like, baby, look, you can come into the future peacefully, in a relaxed, willing, open self that lets your whole self experience love, or you can come kicking and screaming. The choice is yours. Now that somebody has told you, and now that you know 100,000%, the choice is yours. Because now you can't say you didn't know. Now you can't say you didn't know. I am telling you, this week, for the next 72 hours, be deliberate. Take ownership by being present to where you give your time, your thoughts, your energy. This is the choice, and this is the power that resides in choice. And it is not forceful. It is becoming present in the stillness, in the relaxation, in the submitting of your will to she whom only requires your ecstatic, joyful worship to feed her. She ain't asked you to slay nobody. She ain't asked you to kill. She ain't asked for no blood on the altar, baby, except maybe your moon blood. She says, I want to see and hear you happy. Completely let loose in happiness. Completely lost in ecstatic orgasm. Dance, whatever. Listen. So that's the answer to your question. I'm still going to pull a card for you, Lejane. I don't feel like I'm keeping anything secret. That's why I'm confused. I don't know you, but I can make some assumptions that I feel are correct. So if it is not hiding a, quote, secret self, which you, being woman in this society, is almost a certainty. It's almost a certainty. Let me tell you what I mean by that. When we are in relationships, this is just an example. When we are in relationships with people, intimate relationships, hell, even friendship relationships, but more specifically, when we're in intimate relationships, when I say that there's this thing that we hide, when we're in intimate relationships, some examples that we may not even acknowledge or recognize. We want our relationship to be comfortable, especially if we live with a person. We want our relationship to be comfortable. Typically, women bear the brunt of creating comfort in the environment. So what ends up happening over a long period of time is we end up tiptoeing. We end up softening our stride. We end up becoming just a little smaller to make sure that we're comfortable in this relationship. So we may not dig deep when things happen, or we may tread lightly when we feel like there's something that needs to be addressed, right? Because we love our partners and we want to make sure that there's more comfort in the place than there is other stuff. So instead of going into a disagreement sharply, but still in love, we tread lightly. Well, babe, I hear what you're saying. We soften our voice. I hear what you're saying, but I just think that maybe we can look at it this way. You understand? And as a woman, even if we don't acknowledge it, there's some place in our life where we shrink, where we soften, where we make ourselves a little energetically less visible. So the mask may not necessarily be an unspoken desire or a hidden desire, but I'm almost willing to bet that if I dug deep enough, I would be able to expose that shit in you, because we have desires, all of us, that we've tucked away. We may say we've outgrown it, but like when you're a kid and somebody asks you before you become indoctrinated, before you become conditioned, somebody asks you what you want to be when you grow up, and you say with enthusiasm and certainty, I want to be a fireman. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be the president. And then once we start hearing, you can't do that. You can't do that. Think about something more realistic. We tuck those things away, but those things emanated from a genuine desire. We may have internalized that those things were the desire, but they are representative of something deeper as a desire, right? Those things represent a level of freedom or a level of bigness or a level of importance. So as a kid, we may see that as being a fireman or an astronaut or whatever. But in our young minds, those were outward expressions of what we were feeling about our bigness, our audacity, our being. our unbridled self, our uncaged self, our fearless self. So I'm guaranteeing I could dig and show you some way, because listen, this thing that you talking about, this question that you asked, doesn't emanate from nowhere, sweetheart. It doesn't emanate from nowhere. If spirit is telling you you are wearing a mask, and it is Oya's time right now in this week, and this is the question that you decide to ask me tonight, it's not coming from nowhere. So I'm going to pull a card now that I done lectured at you a little bit. You understand? Let's see. Okay. All right. So this is the card. And it's interesting because this card, y'all, these pipes, man, these pipes. So it's another pipes card. We haven't pulled this one yet, but it's just interesting because I just told you this story about how when we were a kid, we're like, I want to be a, rock star or whatever, and we're big and shit. And look at the picture on this card, Leger, that I just pulled for you. Look at the picture on this card that I just pulled for you as I'm telling you this story about how these outward expressions of a kid as an astronaut or a fireman, that's how they internalize freedom and bigness and boundless being, right? Until they accept the condition that I can't do that. I can't be that. I can't be that way. Look at this picture I just pulled from this card for you. And those of you on IG who still rocking with me, I'm going to show you the card too. Look at how big they are, how bold they are. Look at their postures. Look at what seems impossible. What does that seem like in the top corner? Is that a bird? No, that's not a bird. That is a deer with wings. That seems impossible, right? They're big. The guy in the background dancing. In this card, the deer represents, you want to know what the deer represents as you're asking me these questions and you're saying, I'm confused because I don't think I'm keeping anything secret? The deer in this deck represents those things that we hold dear in our heart. That's not me interpreting. That's what the book says. Whenever you see the deer horns on her, the deer with flying wings above her head, the deer, anytime you see it in this, and guess what? You just asked me this question. Why does spirit keep telling me I'm wearing a mask? She and the dude behind her are wearing masks. I love this deck. I love how this deck falls. I love how this deck speaks. You just asked me why spirit keep telling me I'm wearing a mask. I keep telling you about the bigness. These two people are wearing a mask in the quote miracle of a flying deer in the background. This is the 7 of pipes. This is the 7 of pipes. Okay. So let's see what the card has to say. The 7 of pipes, the name of this card, Leger, I mean, this is for everybody, but this is your card. The name of this card is called Doubt is Overcome by Action and the Spirit Freed. Doubt is overcome by action and your spirit freed. Doubt is overcome. Doubt is overcome by action and your spirit freed. Okay? So yo, I'm just going to I see you, Chaley. I see you, and I am looking at that too. That's funny. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's a word because we opened in here, right? I'm just going to read something from this card, and then I'm still going to talk to you about the interpretation for this card. But there's a quote here, Lejay. It says, you are going to be asked to move, to grow, to continue your journey of self-awareness. So do not become attached to one stopping point. Love it while you are there, but do not hesitate to act again. Debilitating doubts creep in at every level, stagnating the flow. Doubts stagnate the flow. Dance on your doubts. Now, let me show you this card again. Dance on your doubts. Dance on your doubts. You understand? Lift yourself to new heights. You have the energy and experience to do just that. A temptation when your position is challenged is to become angry and vindictive. What did the card before just say? What did the card before just say? Your power, your evolution will be challenged. You will be tempted to act out of revenge. What did the prior card say? Don't do that. Don't be tempted to act out of revenge. When people challenge what is evolution in you, when they are experiencing what is evolution in you, power in you, let me tell you a quick story. You people, most of whom are women on this call, let me tell you a story that we hear over and over and over and over and over again. I had an epiphany because since I was 10 years old, this epiphany happened when I was doing ayahuasca at Boynton Canyon Vortex in Sedona 2 years ago. Because this thing was not new that happened, but it was only when I was sitting in ceremony with this medicine that weekend at this vortex in Sedona that it became clear, this thing that I had always been viscerally responsive to. Right? Since I was 10 years old, I had always had men and others, but primarily men, tell me, why are you acting like a tomboy? Why are you acting like a man? Even the man that I was in love with told me that I was acting, this is a quote, like a tomboy acting, man-hating feminist. And I was like, is that before or after I give you a blowjob? Is that before or after you tap me on the ass to get some pussy at 4 o'clock in the morning? That I'm being a man-hating, tomboy acting feminist. I was always so super conscious of this perception that people kept imposing on me of me, quote, being masculine or manly or tomboy, that I went for almost 10 years never having worn a pair of pants. My daughter was the one that pointed out. She was like, I ain't never seen you in no blue jeans. When she moved out here, being so conscious, so self-aware of this thing that had been told to me since I was a little girl, overcompensating in, quote, femininity, always wearing dresses, always wearing excessive makeup, jacking my boobs, just being super aware to protect myself from these projections on me of, quote, being masculine or manly. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and so this weekend that me and these two gay black men that are friends of mine that I went with to do ayahuasca with, I was walking across, we were staying in this resort, and I was walking across the parking lot of the resort, going back to our room. And I hear these people talking and saying, we can't find the place. And they were like, damn, I wonder where Jay is. And I was like, oh, I'm in Jay. It's right around the corner. You kind of have to go around. And the girl, so let me just tell you, I am in a halter dress with my big ass boobs. I'm in a halter dress. My hair is in this beautiful ass updo. The dress is all the way down to my legs. And I say, oh, Jay is around the bend here. And she says, thank you, sir. I said, excuse me, sir? Really? And the dude says, I'm sorry, she's drunk. I said, is she so drunk that she can't see my tits in this fucking dress? And so I was angry. I was in a whole way because I was like, damn, how does this keep happening to me? Right? So I go into the room with these two Black gay men who I love. They are my friends. And I am hot. I'm like, y'all will not believe what just happened to me. This woman who I was trying to help because they were wandering around the parking lot lost, just called me sir, just called me a fucking man. And their response was not empathy or like, what the fuck? Like y'all are saying, like, what the fuck? Like that's what y'all saying. These two masculine presenting gay men told me, well, Iyapo, you do come off pretty masculine sometimes. You do come off pretty aggressive sometimes. I was like, excuse me, what the fuck? So now we're on medicine and I'm having this whole fucking moment that I had to have. Because again, I was hot. I was doing exactly what this card just said don't do. You know who you are. People respond in a way that attempts to demote who you are, distract you from who you are. That's what this card is. Challenge your power. That weekend, the epiphany that I had when this thing happened, and the two people who, one I've known for 22 years, this gay man, that I am in ceremony with, and their automatic response wasn't to defend me or reassure me. No, their defense was to side with the white girl in the goddamn parking lot that called me sir. And the epiphany was this, that all this time that I spent making myself smaller, making my presentation in the world one that would, one, in my mind, protect me from these accusations of manliness, while two, you asserting, quote, a femininity that will gain me a certain kind of whatever, that they were not calling me manly, even though that's the only language that they had to use. Because what was happening to me was not peculiar to me. There aren't too many Black women that I know who have not experienced this at some time in their life. There are not too many Black women that I know that at some time in their life have not been called a man hater, manly acting, or aggressive, or tomboyish. There ain't too many Black, even mixed race women I know have had this experience. And I was like, so even though I had been taking it personally and internalizing it and folding in on myself to adjust for it, to, in my mind, protect me from the accusation, the epiphany was this, that in this world that has been constructed off of us, off of our power, power is synonymous with masculinity. Power is synonymous as a possession only for men to have and possess. Power is synonymous with masculinity, with patriarchy in its corrupted way. And so when others, men and others alike, become viscerally triggered by the presentation of women in general in space, and colored women in particular, and Black colored women even more particular, when they say you acting like a man, or you being like a man, or you being manly, or you a man hater, what they are responding to in their conditioned understanding, their simple understanding of the world, what they are responding to is power. And it makes them uncomfortable because it contradicts what they have learned, where power belongs, which is in the body of males. So all this time since I was 10 years old, people, male and female alike, telling me you tomboy acting, you're tomboy-ish, you're manly. Are you a lesbian? Because somehow what they're experiencing me does not belong to me. It belongs in the body of a male. And when it doesn't, it is problematic. It is the essence and the origin of why y'all have a problem with Meg Thee Stallion, with Cardi B, with Lizzo. Y'all think it's about the sexuality. What you are triggered by A need to attack is your conditioning that tells you that audacity, that sexual sovereignty and expression, that power does not belong to women in general, and it damn sure don't belong to Black women. And so our knee-jerk response is to attack it, assault it, and attempt to make it small. And the way that they know that they can win doing that is to challenge our femininity, to challenge what complete and total femininity looks like. It looks like Oya, who will put on pants to go into battle, or who will wear a halter tap and dress like a prostitute to get close to her enemies. She who has one foot squarely in the terrestrial realm and the ancestral realm and wields the power of both. She who is the perfect personification of the harmony of the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the sacred masculine in herself. In herself, bitch. I can change the oil in my car. I can build some shit, and I can put on a mini skirt and jack my tits up to my boobs. I can do all the things, and that shit frightens those who are still conditioned to accept that power belongs to none other than males. That's what they had been responding to all the time, that I've been internalizing and making myself smaller. Why you sound like a man? I've had people tell me that because of the bass in my voice. I sound like a woman. That I sound like a woman who speaks unbridled. I don't soften my voice anymore. I don't whisper. I don't tread lightly in my speech. That's why I refuse to stop cussing. I don't tread lightly in my speech to make others comfortable. So it becomes, why do you sound like a man? I had my mama tell me that once. I played a CD of me singing with a band. She was like, that's you? I told her it was me. Me singing with a band. I was so proud of it. And she didn't mean any harm. She's conditioned too. And it hurt my feelings so fucking bad. I took it so personal. I didn't sing for a long time. I played the CD for my mother. I was so proud. And she said, that's you? I said, yeah, it's me. She's like, girl, you sound like a man. I was like, what? I didn't sing for a long time after she said that. Constantly folding in on myself because people were projecting their conditioning onto me, and I was receiving it and adjusting accordingly. You understand? So I hope that story resonated with you, because that's what this card is talking about, and the previous card that we drew. Baby, what did the previous card say? What was it? The 10 of arrows. The 10 of arrows said, baby, if you are true, if you move from the heart, if you always direct your arrow towards the good of the whole, people gonna come and they gonna try your stilo. They gonna try you. You can either respond through anger, resentment, frustration, revenge. You can cuss their ass out, and what you have done is internalize their projections from their place that they have not arrived yet. Or you can receive through the prayer, what is for me, I receive. What is not for me and does not apply to me, I reject it. And keep it pushing, because I know where I'm at. I know what my destiny is. I am perfectly aligned with it. That's what this card is saying too. The last two cards. She's like, the temptation that you must be present and aware of is you might be tempted to box a bitch. Somebody gonna say some dumbass shit to you, and you may be tempted to box a bitch. It says the temptation, when your position is challenged, your position of evolution, your position of growth, your position of being your full self out loud and on purpose, your temptation when your position is challenged is to become angry and vindictive. You might want to box a bitch. This is a misuse of the valuable energy that is coming to you right now, Leger. This ain't the way to direct that energy, boo. This is a misuse of the valuable energy that is coming to you now. Eliminate envy by always leaving something for the next person to step into. A gift of your having been there first. Oh my God. What did I say? When people project, it is because they are not yet where you are. They are not yet where they are, and spirit is triggering them. Spirit is triggering them. Instead of being angry because they're projecting, leave something behind so that their journey ahead is less burdensome than yours. It says eliminate envy and the envy of others. So there's another card in this deck that I love. It says always leave something, a lesson or whatever. Leave something. And that protects you. It acts like your shield of protection from envy. People don't become envious because they're like, damn, yeah, she's shining and she moving ahead, but she always taking along others. She always showing others. She ain't keeping no secrets. She ain't hoarding information. Leave something that makes the path to the fulfillment of destiny easier for those behind you who have not yet arrived. That's the card. It says eliminate envy by always leaving something for the next person to step into. A gift of your having been there first, where they are, what they going through. Your protection is your ever expanding vision that comes to include the good of the all. This is a shield against jealousy and greed, against the destructive nature of anything that would seek to overcome you. You have nothing to lose if you continue to develop your skills and attune your guiding vision, your view of the best possible world, and how you play a part in it. Your acts of devotion to your own form. Listen to what I've been telling you. Your acts of devotion to your own form of sexual, creative, and spiritual expression is all the rebel you will ever need to be. Set your spirit free, baby. Listen, that last statement, I got fucking chills everywhere. You ain't got to fight no fucking body. Focus, like I said, especially for the next 24 hours, the next 72 hours, on you. What is important to you, showing yourself materialized displays of love, just like you would show to others. What does it say? You have nothing to lose if you continue to develop your best skills and attune your guiding vision, your view of the best possible world, and how you play a role in it. Your acts of devotion are simple. It is to you, your own, developing your own form of sexual, creative, and spiritual expression. This is all the rebel you will ever need to be. Baby, this is all the rebel you will need to be, is to be your most outspoken, audacious, courageous self, unbridled, unbound. Just like the story I told you about everybody calling me a motherfucking man. And how I was making myself smaller. That lesson Spirit had for me 2 years ago out in the goddamn desert in Sedona. She was like, bitch, I got shit for you to do. And you internalizing everybody else's projection is not how that's going to happen. I need you to be a confident, relaxed, rested, open to receive self so that I can do my best work. When you open your mouth, it is you and it is me. Every time you open your mouth, it is me. It is my will being projected, because you allow yourself to be rested and confident and open and ready. You see? And the things that I need you to be open, confident, and ready to give to others resides in your sexual energy, your creative energy. What did I spend all day telling y'all? Y'all need to have orgasms this week. If you don't do nothing else, bitch, have an orgasm, or 2 or 5. You understand? If you ain't got a boo, find a temporary one. Just be deliberate about how you go into the sexual act. Feel me? If you aren't interested in a boo, masturbation is a gift, a wonderful tool to channel our sexual energy into the manifestation and fulfillment of that which we say we want to have. So, yo, I hope, it is my prayer, I don't even hope, I am certain that somebody was fed from this little intervention today. Okay? Yeah, that last card was the perfect end to this little process here. Okay, so I don't know. I don't see that I have. I want to make sure that I didn't miss anyone. Rosalind Manning, I still have not received your questions. Well, I've received your questions, but I didn't get hands up if you're present. So if you email me, I will still do that reading for you. You asked 3 questions, you paid for 3 questions. I will still give you a typed up result of those questions that you asked. Let's see. Is there anybody else that I missed? No, not that I can see. So I'm just going to say, if there's somebody that I missed, Jose, I have not forgotten about you. Please email me if you're still watching. If I missed you somehow, it is not my intention. I will still give you that reading. Email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com, releaseheartcenter@gmail.com, and I will still pull for you. I will still type out the reading results for you. Okay. I'm looking at all my notifications. I don't see that I've missed anybody there, but Rosalind. So Rosalind, if you're listening to this, I have not forgotten you. I can email you those results, or I can read from you tomorrow, or you can call me, email me, and I'll give you my phone number. I will still do that read for you. Let me look through a couple of these comments. I got a lot of comments. Let me just make sure. I just want to see if there's something that can feed the group before I go. Like, okay, let's see. Interesting. I don't find it to be a strong word. I'm very thankful that you shared your perception with me, though. I thought those wearing masks the whole time we're supposed to. Let's see. Yes, it's just a way to dim your light. Yes. I'm an avid gym goer and lift heavy, and I've had so many guys make little comments like, you're going to get big, you don't need to lift that heavy. Yep. Like, the conditioning is deep. It's just knee jerk. It ain't even, yeah. I'm so sorry you experienced that. I appreciate it. You are beyond amazing for realizing this and taking back what was rightfully yours, your power and your true self. I shaded that. Honestly, many guys watch from afar and avoid me altogether. I'm experiencing that right now. You feel me? You just gave me full body goosebumps. Thank you. Yes, it does resonate. Okay, I'm glad, Leger. Because I didn't ask, but I'm hoping that, this is speaking to you. So I appreciate that feedback for that. For those that have ears, make it better than the day before. Yes. For the good of all concerned. Yes. That is why the deconstruction and reconstruction of the goddesses was so evil. It makes you think you have no path there. Uncontrolled, unmanageable. Yes. Spiritual belly full. Yes, I accept it. Okay, Chaley. I see you. I didn't see this earlier, but I see that you just made a comment. So do me a favor, email me. I do a 30-minute reading, and I do a 60-minute reading. And I forget, child. I have a little list. I know the 60-minute reading is 80. Oh, the 30-minute reading is 45. The 60-minute reading is 81. The 30-minute reading is 45. The 60-minute reading is 81. So email me and I'll give you the details on how to schedule a reading with me. So email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com, just like it sounds, releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. I am going to say this, that I'm doing the free reading tomorrow night at 9:36, but for the next 2 days, Friday and Saturday, I'm not going to be doing readings. So I will like personal readings. I can do a reading for you on Sunday or anything after that. But I ain't preaching. Everything that I've been telling y'all to do, I am powering up these next 72 hours. So still email me and let's go ahead and book yourself a reading. We're in the energy. This whole month is radical. You understand? We got after the eclipse this weekend, 2 weeks later, we got another eclipse that's equally fantastic. You feel me? So go ahead and email me from Sunday to the next eclipse is still an opportune, magnanimous time to get a reading, whatever that is. If you guys want the information for the woman that I was telling you will open your Akashic records, it's life-changing shit. It's game-changing shit. Okay, so if you're interested in that, email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com and I can give you her information and just tell her to expect your call. It's game-changing shit. You feel me? So let's see. You have to watch the episode of of Letitia. Oh my God. Letitia, if you do not stay out of my goddamn head, woman, if you don't stay out of my goddamn head. Oh my God. Letitia says, I'm going to post your comment because I cannot believe this right now. Letitia says, you have to watch the episode I Am of Lovecraft Country. It was about a lady who made herself small and she had a monologue that was fire. Let me just tell you why this is fucking me up so bad, because I was about to get off this damn call. Yesterday, I had a phone conversation with a member, with one of the committee members of the temple, Abasi. The conversation that I had with him was about Lovecraft Country, and it was a conversation of frustration. Let me tell you why. I started watching Lovecraft Country this week. I started watching this show. This was my second time attempting it. When it first came out, everybody was kicking in my ass. Why did you watch Lovecraft Country? Why did you like watching Lovecraft Country? I was like, I just don't know if I have the headspace for it. I'm not ready for it. I've seen the previews. I don't have the space for it yet, right? But all these people who I really, really respect, progressives, radicals, spiritual people, all these people who I respect had been kicking my ass for quite some time about Lovecraft Country. This week, I started watching Lovecraft Country. But for the second time. The first time I tried to watch it when it was new and everybody was still kicking my ass, I was like, okay, maybe there's something there for me. I watched 30 minutes of the first episode and I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. And put it away. I started this week. Do not even have any reason. Nobody mentioned it. Ain't seen nothing about it. But this week, I started watching Lovecraft Country. Your comment is the reason why. Because I have watched 3 episodes so far, and the whole time, it has been triggering. I talked to Abasi yesterday because I have been watching this shit all week, trying to give it a chance. Like something is here for me. Something is here for me. But the whole time, I am anxious. I am triggered. This is not the type of shit I willingly allow into my head, right? And I talked to Abasi yesterday. I was like, yo, because he watched the whole thing. I was like, yo, I get it. I know we love to see us. The production is great. The cinematic value is dope. The plot is cool. The storylines is everybody. The acting is great. The whole time I am energetically fucking triggered from this shit. And I'm like forcing myself to watch it because I'm like, I know there's something here for me. All these radical, wonderful, awesome human beings that I trust and trust their judgment, they wouldn't tell me to watch this bullshit if there wasn't something here for me. So I've still been trudging through this bullshit for 3 days watching this show. And I talked to Abasi yesterday to kind of vent about it because I was like, yo, like, I get it. We love to see us. We love to see us. But like, can we see us? And the other thing that I understood that was a draw was the fact that it was kind of like Afrofuturistic sci-fi that was still based in a very real lived past that we had. And so I understood that was a draw, right? But I was like, this is not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about artists imagining our future and planting that in the minds of our folks in real time. I was more triggered than anything by this show. I'm only 3 episodes in, and the whole time I'm like feeling the need to protect my spirit while I'm looking for this thing that everybody keeps telling me, Iyapo, you would really love it. Cassandra, you really need to see it. I'm still waiting for it, right? The drama, the tropes of, what Mary Daly has been talking to us in this book, Pure Lust, for days about the horizontal violence between women that is the expression of internalized patriarchy. That shit is all up in the shit. You understand? The conflict between this woman, these sisters, the colorism inherent in the conflict, It was just so much. It was just so much layered shit to wade through to look for these gems that everybody keep telling me I was going to draw out of this show that I'm only 3 episodes in and got a whole attitude about. You feel me? Feeling like I'm betraying my spirit by watching this shit. And then here you go. I ain't even told you I've been watching this shit. And here you go. You need to watch. Now, let me tell you something else about your statement, girl, Letitia. Because it's not only the Lovecraft country that is fucking me up right now, because this is how spirit communicates to us. The episode that you highlight is I Am. I haven't even told you, and I wasn't even planning on telling you guys. I just watched a documentary last night, as a matter of fact, after I got done reading for y'all. I watched a documentary last night to wind down, and the documentary was kind of like a critical expose of the cult of I Am. And this is what you send me today. Do you hear me? I'm struggling all week with Lovecraft Country, trying to figure out first why I'm even watching it, because nobody told me to watch it this week. It hasn't been mentioned again since the last time I tried to watch it was well over a year ago. So just seemingly randomly this week, I started watching to the shit. I talked to Abasi about it yesterday, about my frustration and how I was experiencing, right? It was a whole hour-long conversation I had with Abasi. That night, I do this wonderful, incredible, magnanimous read for you guys that had me turned up after I got off the call. So I was like, damn, I can't even go to sleep. I'm wound up. I decided to scroll through YouTube to figure out what I was going to watch to make me sleepy. And as the first suggestion was this woman who I really like. She's very funny, and she does these exposés, typically of cults. She did a whole expose that's about an hour and a half long on the cult of I Am. And that's what I watched last night. As you tell me you have to watch the I Am episode of Lovecraft Country. I hope y'all are here, right? Because this is loud. This isn't quiet. This isn't a coincidence. This is loud. This is loud. Oh my God. This is loud. And I still meant what I said, Letitia. I know it's late. I know it's late for you where you are. But at the very beginning of this read that I said was only going to last for an hour, I told you to call me after I'm done, after I log off. Now I especially want you to call me tonight. I do not want this please call me after we end this call. Email me so I think I've given you my phone number, but let me email you afterwards so I can make sure you have my phone number. Please call me tonight, because this shit is fucking me up right now. This shit is fucking me up right now. I love you too, Mystique. Yep, both the eclipses are making exact conjunctions with my progressed Venus and Sun. Uh-oh. I wouldn't force myself to watch it if that was the case. I hear you. But Chaylee, let me tell you, if I had not watched it this week, this comment that this sister had just made, because I didn't even know why I did it. Like I said, nobody mentioned it to me. It was kind of random, or seemingly random. But there's a reason that I watched it. This is an alignment. When I'm always telling y'all to be present enough to recognize when 2 strands or 2 threads of the cosmic tapestry are crossing in an instant, to be able to be present enough to see when the strands are crossing, when the synapses, that is us, are connecting, when something is being communicated in a moment. So if I hadn't watched it, this would be a non-issue. If I had not watched this woman talk about the cult of I Am for an hour and a half last night before going to bed, this comment would have been a non-issue. That's why. And to be present enough to recognize why it becomes significant, why it becomes important. I get it, though. It is triggering as hell. And typically I would have been like, nope, I'm not doing it. I ain't watching this bullshit. You understand? But I kept on for a reason. Letitia, yup. Synchronicity is not a coincidence. Thank you very much. That is true. You said that recently also. Yes. This whole week. And I tell you, she is loud if we care to hear. She is loud if we care to hear. So I am going to end with that because that was a hell of intervention, child. That was a hell of intervention. And it's meaningful. It's meaningful. And so I want to explore that deeper. I don't want to be like, ooh, that's a creepy coincidence and ignore it, because that's what we do a lot. We come into contact with these synchronicities and we blow it off, or we're not still enough to go deeper into it to extract why it happened and what it's for, what it's trying to communicate. So that's what I'm about to spend my time doing. Letitia, call me after this. I love that so much. You just helped me so much. You'll never even know. Oh, thank you so much, Chaley. Damn. Yes. Yes. So, what an extraordinarily radical way to end the night. I am just constant. I just stay in constant amazement. Constant amazement. So thank you all who participated. Thank you all for the interaction. You understand? For the feedback, for the confirmation, the constant confirmation tonight. Yes, I'm gonna sleep like the dead tonight, baby. I'm gonna sleep deeply. You understand? And yeah. So tomorrow, be deliberate in your rest and relaxation and acceptance and exaltation of the mothers. In your exaltation of the mothers. In your exaltation of the mothers for the next 48 hours. That's your homework. Whatever that looks like, that's for you. I've shared a lot over the week. Revisit the videos if you need to remember how to execute the rituals that I told you about. If you want to incorporate them, cool. If not, cool. Your intention is what matters. Your intention is what matters. Like I said, my rest all day today, my literal accepting that I'm not going to do a motherfucking thing today was the ritual. It was the ritual. So, good night to you all. Have an extraordinary day tomorrow. If I'm feeling called, I may do a live anyway because Spirit may have something to say. So check at 5:00 to see if I'm doing a live. That one I'm gonna do a read on. I'm gonna pull for, but definitively I'm gonna do another read tomorrow night at 9:36 before the eclipse. Okay, so 9:36 p.m. tomorrow night, Pacific Standard Time. I will do a read. Pay attention because I may or may not do a live tomorrow at 5. All right. I love you all. This was so awesome. I was so fed off this. So fed. So affirmed. So affirmed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Good night.